Hello students, welcome to our next video. So in this video, I am going to explain the cooling tower. Okay, the further topic of our thermal power plant. In the previous video also we have seen the economizer and superheater. Also from this previous video we have seen the boilers and etc. Okay, now in this video I am going to explain what is cooling tower. Cooling tower. Cooling tower. Okay, so basically what is cooling tower? Cooling tower is nothing but when the water is not available at the plant location or a river is not present near the plant location, then to get the continuous flow of water, after passing from the turbine, the steam generator, the steam is then condensed. Okay. In the previous video, I have explained what is condenser also. So that condenser will release that water into the cooling towers. Condenser. After condenser, the water is released into the cooling tower. So after condenser, the water is released into the cooling tower. That cooling tower actually cools the water. Okay, it cools the water to again transport to the to our boiler. Okay, so basically the cooling towers are categorized into two: forced draught. Okay, forced draught and natural draught. Okay, forced draught and natural draught. Okay, so these are the two categories of this cooling tower. Now, I'll explain first one about the natural cooling draught. Okay, natural cooling draught. Natural cooling draught. So this type of cooling is used for small plants. Okay, small plants. This type of cooling method is used for the small plant. The structure is like this. Okay, this is the structure, and here are the sprayers are there. When the steam comes here, okay, when the steam passes through here, the steam is imparted with this cooling water, and due to that cooling water, the steam is generated into get converted into the means after passing from the condenser, the condensed water is then passed through to the cooling tower, in which the water is cooled to a normal temperature. And with the help of this sprayer. Okay, so there are sprayer arrangements which are used. Okay, and here is a chimney. Okay, chimney is there. Okay, so this is the small natural cooling rod. I mean, naturally the water is circulated here. Okay, so what are the advantages? What are the advantages of this kind of cooling rod? Okay, you should remember this is a small plant, used in small plant. So advantages are what are the advantages? So advantages are better circulation of air. So if better circulation of air is there, then easily the water is cooled to a required temperature. Okay, then another advantage is wide variation wide variations of load in it. Okay, wide variations of load can be connected here. Okay, then we have maintenance cost is also low. Cost is low. Okay, so the maintenance cost is also get decreases. Okay, maintenance cost is also get decreases. Then we have no fire hazard. No fire hazard issues. Okay, so there is no problem of fire. Okay, no problem of fire in this. Okay, so these are the advantages. Okay. Okay, so this is the natural. Naturally, the water is cooled to a certain temperature after when the water is transferred from condenser to the tower. Okay, now we have a forced draught. Okay, next one is the forced draught cooling tower. Okay, advantages. After advantages, we have forced draught. Forced draught. Forced draught. Okay, so in this forced draught, so it has motors. Okay, in this cooling tower, motors, fans. Okay, motor, fans. Then we have spray nozzle, spray nozzle, spray nozzles. Spray nozzles are there. Then we have catch basin, water inlet, water inlet, catch basin. Then we have water inlet, outlet. Okay, so these are the components which are there inside this type of construction. Okay, so basically, why this name is given as force? Okay, force draught. Why force draught is given? Because by forcing the water, okay, by forcing with the help of this motor, okay, by forcing means we are going to use this motor to cool that water. Okay, we are going to use this motor for cooling the water. Okay, with the help of fans. Okay, so inside in this motor we are going to connect fans. Okay, fans are going to connect which automatically which automatically cools the water. Okay, it removes the heat from this water. Okay. Then its structure is like this. Okay, so it has a very huge structure. Okay, huge structure is there. Then we have this hurdles. Okay, hurdles are there. Then we have motor connected here. Okay, motor is connected at the one end, and then this fan is connected here. Fan is connected here. Okay, and we are going to take the water from here, and this water is then blown with this fan, and automatically the heat will transfer up to the upper position. Okay, so also there are sprayers. Okay? Sprayers are connected here. Spray are connected here. Sprays are connected so that the water temperature get reduced very easily. Okay, so these are the components. Then we have basin. After cooling the water, the basin, the water is collected and then it is taken out from here. Okay, so this is the our forced draught. Okay, forced draught means we are going to use a forcing method like motor, and fan is connected, spray nozzle, and we have water inlet and outlet. Okay, here from here we are going to take out the water, and here we are going to take in the water. Okay, so this is also a cooling type. Okay. Okay, so these are the two methods. Okay, two methods for our cooling of our water. Okay, after traveling from condenser, the water comes in these two towers. It can be any one of them or both of them. So if it comes in a natural form, in natural cooling tower, then it will easily cool the water with the help of spray nozzle. And if it is very high, the temperature of and it is also used in large power plants, large plants, because we are going to use a motor-driven fan here, so that the water, the temperature of the water get extracted very easily. Okay, so this is the structure. Now I'll explain the two points here. Okay, I hope you understand this two topic. Now I am going to explain the advantages and disadvantages of thermal power plant. Advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so what are the advantages? Okay, what are the advantages? Space needed is less. Space needed is less. Okay, cheaper in cost. If nuclear and diesel. Okay, means if I compare this two fuels, nuclear and diesel, it is cheaper in cost. Okay, initial cost is also low. Starting cost of this plant is also low. Then cost of energy is high. Energy per kW is also less. Okay, as compared to the other plants, if I compare the cost of generation, it is less. Okay, then generating capacity is more. If I'm using a large amount of coal here, then I can generate large amount of power. But due to some disadvantages, it cannot be used. So I'll explain the disadvantages. Okay, so what are the disadvantages of this kind of plant? The disadvantages, its efficiency is less. Okay, efficiency of this kind of plant is less. So the efficiency is around 18 to 24%. Means you can see that how actually the less the efficiency is. Okay, large quantity of water is needed. Is large. Okay, means you need a very large amount of water for this plant, for generating the steam, also for cooling the water also. Okay, operating cost, labor cost and maintenance cost is also very high. Operating cost, labor cost, okay, are high. Okay, it has a very high operating cost, labor cost, etc. Okay, then we need ash storage. Ash storage is needed. Okay, ash storage is also needed. So okay, so with this means advantages and disadvantages, the thermal power plant topic is over. Okay, so in this with advantages and disadvantages only, you should remember these 5 topics. Okay, so with this our thermal power plant topic is over. If any topic is remaining, then you can contact me. Okay, so thank you for watching.